What's up, guys? Jason of New 80s Revolution down here in the cave for a continuation of the AWA, my favorite AWA Remco figure tournament. We've got 4 more matchups tonight in the first round. But first, huge news. I have secured, if you will, an interview. And we have talked about interviews in the past. I was set up to do an interview with a WWF wrestler who was an enhancement worker from 83, 84, and I didn't pursue it because I don't know. As much as I sit down here and do this with you guys, as much as I talk for a living, as much as I've been in front of, sometimes crowds of hundreds talking, I couldn't pull the trigger on the interview. It still exists. It can happen, and it will happen if the one next Friday goes well, because, like I said, I have secured an interview with the former Vice President of Marketing for Remco, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Rosenthal is going to be joining us here on the channel next Friday. And that video will be available next Friday. Why is this important? Well, obviously it's important for many reasons. The reason that I initially wanted to talk with this fella is that he worked on the AWA Remco line, being the VP of Marketing. We can also talk to him about other Remco lines, including Karate Kid. Right? But I think we have enough material to get some interesting information about our Remco AWA figures. Not only that, Mr. Rosenthal and Greg Gagne, former AWA wrestler Greg Gagne, have teamed up to start their own wrestling figure line. It is called Power Town. And they have released their first 6 images of figures to come. Now, I'm excited about this line because first of all, the head scans are some of the best I've ever seen. Take a look. I don't want to edit this. I just want to get it up. But here's the first 6 figures that Steve Rosenthal and Greg Gagne are producing. Here is Luthez. Right? Then we've got Vern Gagne. Absolutely fantastic figures. We've got an incredible looking Magnum TA. I love that. We've got an equally incredible looking Kerry Von Erich. That is outstanding. We have Stan Hansen. And we have not had a Stan Hansen since AWA Remco Stan Hansen. What a great looking figure. And then we have a Ted DiBiase figure that they're saying is from his tour in Japan right prior to becoming the $1 Million Man. He's wearing the same outfit as Stan Hansen. I don't know if he teamed with Stan Hansen in Japan, but he's wearing the same gear, and it's a great head scan. So Power Town, where wrestling lives on. Steve Rosenthal, former VP of Marketing of Remco, and former wrestling superstar Greg Gagne have teamed up. And I will be talking to Steve Rosenthal next Friday here on the channel. And I am pumped and nervous. And if that interview goes well, then I will reach back out to the WWF worker that I had agreed. He agreed to do an interview with me. We've talked before in the past. I did some stuff for him. He sent me some stuff in the mail. We've met up at conventions. He's a good guy. I'll get him back. I just need to build the old confidence. Build the confidence of talking, which is odd because that's all I do is talk. All right. So anyway, I'm excited about that. So I gotta put a list of questions together for Steve's people. His PR person, and we'll get a list of questions over to them, and we're gonna have a fun time. So, all right, that's exciting. Let's get into the tournament. Sure, let's just grab them randomly. We've got the Freebirds 3-pack. Right, Freebirds 3-pack came Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy, and Buddy Roberts. And we've got Terry Gordy taking on one of the Long Riders. I don't know if this is Scott Hogg Irwin or Wild Bill. I think this is Wild Bill, and Scott Hogg has the big beard. Okay, so, Terry Gordy, of course, has there's two Terry Gordys. There's muscular and there's flabby. There should never have been a muscular Terry Gordy. Terry Gordy has, just has never looked better in plastic form. I don't have the flabby Gordy. I want it. I think it's a must-have for these figures. So the one that I have here kind of knocks the figure down a little bit. But it's fine, it's a good figure. And I had these guys, and I used them all as singles wrestlers a lot. Surprisingly, I used Buddy Roberts a lot when I played with the AWA figures. Here he is taking on one of the Long Riders. Again, I believe another set of figures that has both the flabby body and the muscular body variants. This is muscular body. We're going to say it's Wild Bill Irwin. They came with sunglasses and hats, motorcycle hats, which is cool. I actually am very, very partial to the Long Riders. I like the figures, and I actually like the characters. And sadly, they didn't get... I think they would have been a little bit more of a dominant tag team. Sadly, one of the brothers passed away pretty early, of brain cancer, I believe. So definitely put a halt to the Long Riders, because Wild Bill was around for a while. Wild Bill Irwin, wrestled well into the 90s. And I believe he was the Goon in... was he the Goon? Yeah, I think he was the Goon in WWF. Like, horrible, horrible stuff. But Wild Bill Irwin taking on Terry Gordy. What do we say? I'm going to go with the Irwin. I'm going to go with Wild Bill knocking off super muscular Terry Gordy. So we've got Bill Irwin moving on. Next matchup is Bill Irwin's brother, Scott Hogg, taking on Michael P.S. Hayes. Just a different, obviously, same body and same coat and same accessories, but, different head. The bearded, burly Scott Hogg Irwin. And let's get those sunglasses back on him. And again, like I said, I love the Irwin figures. I love the Long Rider figures. I think they look great. They look incredible in package. I have them carded, and they look great. Actually, I have the muscular bodies carded too. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure if they have the flabby body Long Riders. I'm pretty sure they do. But he's taking on Michael Hayes, and this is not one of my favorite figures. I do like the outfit, but I don't know. Here's why. Here's some great memories of Michael Hayes. I had this figure, like I said, and this was one of the first figures that I ruined because I had to have my figures bleed, and so I would use marker, Crayola marker with my figures, and fortunately enough for me, the marker would come off, right? It would come off the figures, especially, and it would come off the LJNs, which you wouldn't think because it's rubber and it could absorb into the rubber. Well, I was having a matchup, and I didn't have any markers available, so I foolishly, and this is 9-year-old, 10-year-old silly me, going into my mother's room and getting nail polish. And she didn't have like bright red nail polish, so I ended up using almost like a maroon off-color nail polish to paint blood on Michael Hayes, and I couldn't get it off. Now, again, the underdeveloped 9 or 10-year-old brain doesn't realize that nail polish remover would take it off. But I spent the rest of my childhood with a strangely bloody Michael Hayes figure. So for that reason only, Michael Hayes is going to defeat Scott Hogg Irwin and move on in the tournament. Remember, it's about the figure and it's about the childhood memories. Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin's second figure, and all it is the blue-robed version. This came with Scott Hall in the Grudge Match 2-packs, basically LJN's equivalent of the Black Card series. And he takes on Buddy Roberts. Now, Buddy Roberts was a strange dude, teaming with the Freebirds. He was always like, Buddy Roberts was significantly older than Terry Gordy and Michael Hayes, and it was just interesting. But they never really told the story that way, that he was like 15 years their elder, right? Buddy Roberts was a figure that I always used, and I can't remember exactly why. I think I had him more in a jobber role, but he also got the nail polish treatment, and again couldn't figure out how to get it off. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm because Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy, or Michael Hayes and Buddy Roberts, got a lot of play in youth. I had a lot of Rick Martel versus Buddy Roberts, Rick Martel versus Michael Hayes. Absolutely teamed them up against the Road Warriors. I'm going to move Buddy Roberts on in the tournament. This is kind of a sleeper figure for me. He's and again, it's like the least exciting wrestler, Buddy Roberts of the Freebirds. But I used him a lot as a kid, and I don't really know why. Final matchup, interesting. Now we start to get into some pretty interesting figures as we get into the Black Card series, or the Grudge Match series. We've got Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck taking on Abdullah the Butcher, right? Of course, Scott Hall. Scott Hall, this is the beginning of a very famous, influential, infamous career of Scott Hall as of course Razor Ramon, the NWO, the battles with addiction, the public battles with addiction, and Mr. Nine Lives, Scott Hall, as far as I'm concerned. And he's a Tom Selleck Magnum PI knockoff, absolutely. And he's taken on Abdullah the Butcher. This is a great figure. It's got the Abdullah pants, and it's got the Abdullah pointy-toed boots, which are slip-ons, right? They are slip-ons. You slip these over his regular boots. Now that's detail, right? That's going above and beyond in the accessory market. The only drawback to this figure is obviously, Remco, for some reason, only made 2 body molds, and so they give Abdullah the fat body. This is the fat body, and Abdullah the Butcher was like Jabba the Hutt, so definitely could have improved. Maybe Remco had one more body type for Jerry Blackwell and for Abdullah the Butcher, but hey, you know what? We'll take it. And I'm going to tell you, surprisingly, Abdullah the Butcher is going to move on. He is absolutely going to move on. I enjoyed the Grudge Match series. I got all of them for Christmas one year, and truly enjoyed having the Abdullah the Butcher Stan Hansen matchup, or the Abdullah the Butcher Jerry Blackwell matchup, or even Carlos Colon. I really liked this figure as a kid, and he's another sleeper figure. This guy could be hanging around the Final Four. I can tell you that. All right, so Abdullah is moving on now to this weekend. All that's left is Stan Hansen, Carlos Colon, Jerry Blackwell, Dick Worley. Actually, no, sorry about that. We're not going to do the referees. We're not going to do the referees because we've got 8 more to go. So we've got a solid 8 for the final round. Like I said, Carlos Colon, Stan Hansen, Jerry Blackwell, Buddy Rose, Playboy Buddy Rose. Pretty Boy Doug Summers, right up there with Mr. Electricity Steve Regal as, who? Shawn Michaels of the Rockers, Midnight Rockers, and Sheik Adnan LKC, and Nick Bockwinkel. So that's our final 8. And I don't know what it's going to give us. If it gives us an odd number, we'll throw in Dick Worley to make it even. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But Brunzell, Larry Zabisco, Steve Kern, Rick Martel, Kurt Henning, Hawk Animal, Paul Ellering, Bill Irwin, Michael Hayes, Buddy Roberts, and Abdullah the Butcher have moved on to the next round. The big news is next Friday we've got an interview with the former Vice President of Marketing of Remco Toys in the 80s, Steve Rosenthal. And he has teamed up with former AWA wrestler, owner, Vern Gagne's son, Greg Gagne, and they have created a new line of wrestling figures, which we just took a look at. So we're going to talk a lot about the 80s. We're going to talk about the new product that's out there. I can't wait. I'm excited and nervous about it. You guys will enjoy it. That's the AWA Remco tournament. Big weekend. We've got the Mount Rushmore of my NES games, so my personal top 4 Mount Rushmore NES games. They are going to surprise all of you. I am not a gamer. I never was, and so Zelda is not on the list. Metroid is not on the list. Super Mario 3 is not on the list. But a sports game is on the list. So, in fact, 3 out of 4 sports games are on the list. 3 out of 4 of my games are sports games. My Mount Rushmore sports games of NES. Incredible. That's coming up this weekend. A Wrestling with the Past is coming up this weekend. A toy show in town is coming up Sunday. I'm going to a toy show. I'll bring you with me to the best of my comfortability. We're going to go see G.I. Joe Ron. We'll definitely tape him and film at his booth. But we'll check out